So this is day 2, game 3, 100 Chiefs against Fnatic. Fnatic got Sayarakan and Sion. I think getting Saya here, like G2 got Rakan here instead of Saya. Definitely you want to get Saya. First pick Alistar, we saw this from RNG. Basically, this is the best outcome because it forces um, the enemy team to pick Saya Rakan, or they always give you something, right? By first picking the Alistar. I think this is really good. In the G2 game, of course, it was banned, but you always pick Saya first, basically, after the Alistar. Um, yeah. Oh, I was gonna say really standard draft because the Oriana there, but standard draft from both teams, anyways. I think Irelia can be really good into the Syndra. Um, the fact that Irelia was there at the last pick is interesting. I've never seen that. I think that teams at least ban it on the second phase really often. I often see the second phase ban of their Irelia. But yeah, there was also the Yasuo, the LeBlanc, all these things that you have to think of. Really strong drafts from both teams, really solid compositions, and really standard. And because of that, I think it's just way better for Fnatic now because Fnatic just have they're playing both teams are giving the same resources or the same compositions from draft. I think it favors the better team, and I think Fnatic is just better than 100 Thieves. Let's see if 100 Thieves can do something with their composition. Um, yeah, it looked like they wanted to invade the Raptors, but they just placed the ward. I think that ward is really good. Gives really good information. Brooks is gonna do the Wolves into blue. World is becoming the standard path for Olaf. We've seen that already many times, so good for him. Afro sweeping there enables them to look for double 2 gangs or scare Fnatic, and also it could be something that they scouted or something that they found oh, this was really good. They changed the word that they put here. And how is that important? Because if they were there instead of the crab side, because usually teams were the crab side, they were the here, but in bottom lane. Um, but if they also were the other side, maybe you can sneak. You cannot sneak in because then you get spotted in the other side. But sometimes junglers sneaking in the other side of the jungle, which is basically the side that Afromo was sweeping. So I'm not sure exactly why he had sweeper and what happened there, but the thing that I know for sure is that he prepped, so he did that from prep, from watching Fnatic games and the way they play. He was looking for a war that had to do with something, or they were just looking for the level 2 rank bottom. Sunday got a really good trade there, but he used all his mana, which is fine because as Ord, you can always craft items, and your items are mana items. Like you can see, he just crafted a Sapphire Crystal, and he now has mana again. That's so crazy, the fact that you can just do that with a champion. You just get mana and health for free. Invade from Broxa. If he doesn't get anything, he's just waiting for his camps to spawn, basically, which isn't bad, but yeah. And I got double craft, apparently, from what I'm seeing here. Oh, right. Yeah. He definitely got double craft because Broxa did the full play on the other side. Yeah, Fnatic got a really good trade from Afromo combo in there. Here, Afromo combo, but he yeah. Here is a combo. Feather is really good root on Kaisa. That made it so that Afromo went in by himself because Ricard cannot come here. He got rooted, and now he's coming, but it's already too late. Alistar is already lost a huge amount of HP, and once the Aftershock is gone, he doesn't have the resistances anymore because Aftershock gives you quite a few amount of resistances, and so he's less tank. He just gets run down by Reckless. Very disciplined play. He didn't flash for the kill because if you flash a bit too late, Then Alistair flashes and he gets out. So like basically both flash at the same time, and you do not get to use the auto. Um, then he lives. And even if you get the auto, maybe Alistair lives with 1 HP. So very disciplined play out of Reckless. Now we see Roxa coming in here. He was looping around it, but now he's bottom. Basically, they're making sure that they can dive this. Uh, we are going to see the Graves just going to start his race to bottom. He's racing here. He's just want to get here before the wave does, because if the wave gets there first, then they won't be able to defend the dive. Now, Fnatic saw this as an opportunity to hunt Graves instead of the look at the dive there, because they know that they can also go for Graves here. But overall, standard play from both teams. No one died, and that didn't get punished, but it takes some time out of both junglers from both teams and denied the CS, of course, from the enemy AD carry. So now it's gonna push back to Fnatic's bottom lane, and not only push back to Fnatic's bottom lane, it's also like good for them because now they can gank bottom because they don't have heal. They can force these awkward situations for the Fnatic bottom lane now, where Rect is just gonna get really far ahead in CS after that. Roxa doing the Drake really smart. Olaf, one of the champions that can do it at level 4. Um, even at level 3, I think, if you have double buffs. So yeah, very standard play from Fnatic. You expect from Graves to get most of the crafts, if not every craft, and to be ahead in the matchup because of that. But Olaf provides more things to the team. Uh, Graves can scale really well after the later stages of the game, but during the early game, mid game, I think having an Olaf is better for ganking and stuff like this. Um, the fact that he also did the Drake there, like the fact that you can just do Drake for your team is huge, because Graves is not one of those champions that can solo Drake until like level 6 or something, or even more. Olaf already at level 4 being able to do the Drake. We see Caps freezing there a bit. Basically, he's forcing Ryu into walking to him, and then he can start like pressuring. Fnatic carries are just much better than their oppositions or counterparts. No offense to the players, but look at the CS differences. And to be fair, they also have good matchups, really good comfort picks. But yeah, they're just dominating the laning phase, and that's to be expected with this draft. And I think 100 Thief just have to scale into the late game and try to do the best to lose the least in the map. So yeah, I'll just do this here. Here's and get out. If he had got cancelled on the combo there on the W by the combo Falister, he could have died because he was near to the wall. Then Graves gets the full damage of Q and stuff like that. Here, Caps was forced out of the lane, so that's gonna stabilize the CS a little bit more. So 100 Thieves now has like 100 Thieves or the Thieves, whatever. They actually are in a solid position now. They are invading the blue buff. They force Caps back so they can look for this steal, and they're actually not in a much better position because now they kind of stabilize the CS deficit. Although in bot they didn't get much, they were almost going to get something on their Rakan there, but Rakan gets out, and they get this from that blue buff invade. Brox at least gets the crab. I think the blue buff is not as important on Irelia, but it's important for Syndra to have blue buffs. So you can see this build from Syndra, Nala's chapter, which means that she won't have mana if it wasn't for the blue buff. So she wouldn't have mana if it wasn't for the blue buff. So really good for Syndra to have blue buff. And yeah, we are now seeing a really aggressive move by Fnatic. They're invading the enemy jungle. Olaf is forced to ult because he finds the rest of 100 Thieves there. It was Alistair also, not only the Graves. So yeah, wise move to back away with ult. But yeah, that was a really aggressive move in my opinion. Irelia hovering for top. This gives push to Soas. And yeah, he's just trying to be annoying here at blue. So really good roaming from Caps. Like he was very far ahead. Then he loses a trade where he is forced out of the lane. Then he's even on CS, but he's even, but he already roamed bottom and top lane. So he's pressuring the map very well with his push. So he is doing a lot of work with his roams, and that's a really good thing as a mid laner. So Soa's being a jerk on the top lane. He's just playing like really like he has the advantage on this tank matchup. He's really pushing his opponent. And yeah, he can definitely do that. Even though he doesn't have the item advantage, that's just because Ornn can craft the items. Um, he still wins the lane and he's still pressuring. Look at he's proxying here. And if the enemy jungler comes, he can just try to get out with flash or his ulti and stuff like this. Real overextends there. I think that you shouldn't look to like poke. Like he pushed the wave, and Caps after pushing one wave, the thing he does, he's roaming. He just went bottom, then just went top. And Ryu, after pushing, he's going for a poke instead of roaming, which is not good. Like you just like you don't want to interact with Aurelia. Why are you interacting with Aurelia? Just throwing your W there, like interacting with Aurelia is not something that you want. You just get all in here because you're giving him the chance to do so. Even if you hit that, you still get engaged, and then you die. So just look for roams. Help out your team, man. Like you should be helping out your team here instead of just staying there. Roam, move over the map. Don't stay on the lane. Don't be greedy. Don't play for yourself. Play for the team. So I don't like that. Yeah, standard die from Fnatic really easy for them. Yeah, they're just gonna roll over 100 thieves here. Uh, I mean, Caps roaming, getting 2 kills. Roaming, guys. Roaming is really important, especially in pro play. Like, not even like even in solo queue, it's really good to roam, help out someone else because you're putting yourself ahead with the kills you're getting, stuff like this, and you're putting your teammates ahead also. You're sharing the lead and stuff. So as overstays bottom, like okay, I guess like you have to respect the enemy team more. We've seen that with PvP that didn't happen last game. This game we're seeing that, so that's just discipline. You just need to like respect that more and know your plays more and what you can do and what you can't do. Uh, I thought Alistair had flash, but no. Yeah, 100 Thieves starting Herald. That's because Someday is here. He's here, and reason why he's there, he doesn't have to go. He doesn't have to catch the wave yet. He has to catch the wave when the wave is on his turret. But in the meantime, he can roam to the other side and impact this side of the map. So this is basically a 5v4 against Fnatic, but Fnatic does a very good job. Like, yeah, sure, Brox had to ult again defensively, but what they're doing is like they're in a 4v5 situation defending the objective. So that should never happen. If you're 5v4, even if you're behind, you should look for that hero to get that objective and progress the game. So they made time for Solas to push bottom. So now something has to go bottom and Solas can roam. Okay? Solas is gonna roam. He's gonna look for the same thing that something was looking for on top. Instead of like going to Herald straight, he decided to drop for Anda here. So he was trapped in the bush. He chunks Anda, and even though that doesn't give Fnatic the Herald, then it's one person out of the map just by that roam. And again, top laners can roam forever until the wave is here. Like Suaz doesn't have to go bottom until he has to catch the wave. When the wave is like here, uh, almost here, he's going to start walking back bottom, or he can stay here and lose all the CS, and you're gonna say, "Oh, that's crazy." But he's denying CS also from Ryu, and by extending your timing on this side, you also pressure this turret, so you're getting turrets on both sides. While the enemy top laner is pushing the wave, it's not hitting the turret yet, and by the time Ornn is pushing the turret, then you already took the 2 turrets on this side and you're able to defend the bot turret. So you're never losing a turret, and this way you're getting 2 objectives at the same time. Here they're just stomping 100 tips, you're just diving. And at this point, Suaz hasn't do CS. Look at the wave. He's gonna be able to catch all of the CS, and it's so good what he's doing with his tank play. He's roaming and getting a lot of team things for his team. I don't like this Herald. Like Soas is pathing back bottom. He doesn't have TP. You already got two turrets, and that was your tempo. Now you have to catch waves, recall, use the gold that you have. So basically, now you have to reset on multiple ways. You have to reset the bot wave. You have to fix that. You have to go back on bottom and catch that. You should have a lot of gold from the mid turret, from the top turret, from Zoas catching the bot wave. So if you have a lot of gold, so just base. If 100 Thieves gets this objective from you all basing or recalling, then that's their tempo. And then after they get the herald, then you will have tempo because you just pushes your items and you come from base and they have to recall after getting herald. So at that point, you can get something else on the map. If you think that's not worth it, then stay on the map, but let Solas push the wave. Don't start Herald because if you don't start Herald, then they start it because they feel like they have tempo. Then you contest it, then you fight pretty much. But at least get the man to get the CS. Let Solas CS bottom here, and if you think this is a good fight, then screw bot. Like don't CS bot ever. Just let Solas stay top and start the herald, and then you can recall. But I think that's just really bad. You should always go let Soas catch bottom and don't start herald because the only way where 100 Thieves gets an advantage is like 100 Thieves can start a herald themselves, but it's kind of risky because you don't want to do that against Zaira Khan and all this stuff that Fnatic has at this point in the game. And if Fnatic starts herald and then 100 Thieves comes in a 5v4 situation, even Fnatic with this speed is going to back away. So that's the only thing that you shouldn't do. Because by starting Herald here, you're just giving it to 100 Thieves. This is, oh, I'm so mad about this. Because they already had all the control on top side. They already had everything. They already got a lot of things here. After killing Syndra, take that as a chance to recall, reset, catch the bot wave. Syndra isn't on the map. So 100 Thieves only has 4 members to do Herald. And if they start that, then you can kind of like collapse on them. If you are recall, then you can collapse, but then you get something else on the map after they base 100 tips base. But yeah, play around tempo. Don't just start it like that's so disrespectful. Trying to get 2 turrets and herald 3 objectives. Like no. You just get 2 or 1. Like don't be greedy. Don't like get what you can on the map. Don't overstay with the objectives. But yeah, so as we now have TP, so Fnatic can look for those plays like where they don't have numbers necessarily. SOAS can always TP, so that's a good thing for them. If but the best case scenario for them is SOAS being there all the time, what they're forcing play, so that he doesn't have to use TP. Okay, so SOAS like the best case for him is like not wanting to use TP, basically roam and be there for fights and still have TP, so you keep on pressuring with the TP also. He can also look for TP flanks and stuff like that. Fnatic doing Drake, probably since the Drake was going to spawn, they were talking about that prior. Heralding top, Caps is playing really safe. Look at how reserved he was. Like here, he knows he's the weak side. Everyone from Fnatic is bot side. He's on the weak side, and 100 Thieves is splitting them at top. And here, they're gonna herald to try to get the turret. If they do not herald, then Fnatic is going they're just gonna push mid and bottom really hard and really aggressively, and then they kind of are in a position where not only do they get the Drake, but they can also start getting the turrets if you do not hurry. So good thing that 100 Thieves is hurrying and trying to herald here, so that they at least trade the turret for the Drake. Caps is in a really safe spot. He's not showing. He was like waiting here in the tri bush at first, then he moved to that bush. So being on those kind of places, because sometimes on these pushes, teams members of the teams will split, and then you can potentially get a one shot. Let's say Alistair splits, maybe you can kill him, but Alistair is not the support that you're looking to one shot. Like tanky supports are really hard to one shot at times, but I can see the reasoning why he's hiding like that. You never know when you're just gonna get a one shot opportunity or a chunk even. If he gets ult out of Alistair, the Alistair ulti or like Alistair half HP from staying there in the bush, that's good too. Like anything that you can get from hiding is really good. I like the fact that he plays save and reserve, really good discipline because he's the weak side of this map. So yeah, I like in the other hand, I like Soaz being in the middle of the turret there. Like he was almost diving, then he went back. Because he had Roxa, he's on the stronger side of the map, but yeah, the dive was pretty ambitious, not gonna lie. We're seeing that Reckless are already base, he's now back on the map. He's playing really reserved, and this is what good AD carries do. We saw that with Ruler yesterday. Basically, he was playing reserve until Rakan was there. Like, he can, like, we saw with Jensen, and last game we saw with Buffalo Ceros. Sometimes teams, players are just going to go for the wave because the wave is there. I'm just gonna push it first before they can push that. But sometimes not pushing that first is good because you're playing safe. Like you're allowing them to push the wave first and to move first and force the first move. But here, what can they do? Nothing, right? Uh, it's not that all the time they're gonna get something from moving first, and even if they get something, that's what they get from you recalling, right? So respecting that and catching second, now he's pushing aggressively because Rakan is close or closer. So really good mindset about how to approach the wave. Also dropping the ping there. He didn't drop the ping earlier, even if he wasn't doing anything. He can just drop the ping, right? But at that point, then Cinda's gonna push the wave, and then it's gonna clear the ping that you just placed, right? She's gonna clear the ping that you just placed. You're giving her stuff to do with the push, so it's better to hold the ping until you push, and then you get like here. Why is Reckless pushing the wave first now? Well, he has two people or three people here, so he's allowed to do this, and it's really amazing to see players like play safe on one timing, then play aggressively, play safe. Like smart players will always play differently and adapt to the situation, the context of the game. So really smart play out of Reckless, not immediately pushing the wave. The first time he arrived, he just came from lane, so he has to play safe. Every time that you just come to the map again from base, you have to play safe. After you're on the map for a couple of time or seconds, you wait for your teammates to also come back to the map, and then you start playing aggressively again, pushing the wave on cooldown. As the wave is coming mid, he's already in a position where he can push the wave first. Like if he was 3 seconds late, like if he was here at this point, then 100 Days has a chance to push this wave before Reckless can push this wave. So Reckless really being on time with every wave, and that's a mark of a really good player, a player that is able to go for the wave at cooldown. Like he's getting to the wave, he's getting to the wave first. That's allowing Fnatic to enter the river over and over and over and over. They're being the first. They're being first at river every single timing because Reckless is pushing the wave on cooldown, and 100 Thieves has to like catch second because if they catch first or they look for that, then they lose that fight. So really good from Fnatic. Like that's uh, like that's really smart play. There we saw Reckless recalling, and then he came back. So that's why 100 Thief slowly took some of the picks from Fnatic at River, but they should have more picks now. They just got a flash there. But it's just like playing slow and smart. Look at the position that they got themselves into. They get a free. They start Baron because two carries were at base from 100 Thieves, and the reason why that is because Reckless basically recalled for free, and two members of the Alistair and the Graves took some pings from Fnatic because Reckless was at base. They didn't exactly knew that Reckless recalled, but what happened there was basically like they kind of knew by that point. Like they took some time to realize, but to be fair, they do not have vision at River, so they do not see Reckless recalling. So they assume that he recalled at that point, right? And they took some time to clear the pings, so they clear the pings because they know that people from Fnatic isn't there anymore. So then Fnatic once again controls topside, and now 100 Thieves had to recall. So once they recall, Fnatic starts the Baron because they know that they have the tempo, the numbers advantage on the Baron, and 100 Thieves has to check Baron 3v5, and then they just get turned on by Fnatic. So there's not much they can do at that point. So Fnatic proving that they're the better team, really good fundamentals, the way they're playing Baron or around Baron and stuff like this. Like they could have just went for Baron after the kills, right? But they pushed mid first so that 100 Thieves doesn't get destroyed or damage from that turret. So even that, like it's crazy that like they were thinking about all the things that 100 Thieves could potentially do. Here, Sunday, yeah, he switched to Smite. I don't know if he's going to have that for the steal. And here they shouldn't like they should never have worse the Baron here. They should have left the Baron at 3k or something, so they can turn, because this is a possibility. Whenever there's a spellbook on the enemy team, you have to stop at 3k and try to zone that person. Then you burst Baron while that person is being zoned. You finish Baron so that you prevent them from stealing it. At 3k or 2.5, you look for that type of play where you zone him out and then you just burst the Baron with all you have or all you got. Or you just turn on him and look for the kill and then you come back to the Baron. But here, like, it looked like he didn't have Smite here, but this is bot. He has Smite. This is bot. The fact that he used it, like, he used that. And Saya got it. Like, Roxa didn't even Smite. Oh, God. So it was like... Okay, let me... W and sorry, this is frame by frame. Sorry, 76. Holy moly, that was the only thing that Fnatic has done really bad this game. To be fair, like that's the only mistake that I see. I think that they have played really good. Also, Soa's dying, of course. Soa's dying. Fnatic risking that seal. Even if they kill the jungler, they should have just turn on Ornn, or just look, try to get vision of Ornn and then try to CC him so that you can burst Baron from 2.5k or something. Prevent the steal attempt, because they didn't expect. It looked like they didn't expect. So at least from this game, now Fnatic will know that this is a thing, you know, like whenever they get some kills, like they won't just do Baron or rush Baron, because they know that there is a chance of a steal even if the jungler is dead. Now they know, like they will track or keep track of spellbook champions at those scenarios or situations. Probably that never happened to them in scrims or something, and now now that happened to them, now that it happened to them, so they'll start thinking about that play. So solo kill for Caps in the top lane. He's the strongest member in the game, because he's like 7 kills and he's level 17, probably highest in the entire game. So really hard to lane against him at that point. If Syndra has to match that Baron, he's just going to die anyways, because Caps is so much far ahead than the Irelia there. So yeah. Yeah, he gets engaged on by 100 Thieves there. Wait, like, you saw that? Like, Irelia, it was fast, but I'm pretty sure, like, okay, he was going to Sonia's, and he threw the blade, okay? So, let's see if I saw... So he's throwing the E, and... Sorry, I don't want to keep on changing this. It just, I think it takes more time, but it doesn't look like it takes more time. Well, maybe it does, because you don't have to pause it, but... Like here, he's using the other E. You see? This is the other E, right? And he's in Sonians. Or, how do you call that? Stopwatch. Is that a bug or something? Like he used E during the Sonians. It was really fast, but I actually saw. Yeah. Yeah, only 2 mistakes from Fnatic. Talking about the game again. only two mistakes. The Baron one, they will learn from this. They'll just expect. They will track basically after a fight. They'll just keep track of spellbook champions and the smite as an option, and the other one being Soa dying on the side when he didn't have to die, basically. So that's pretty much it for the Fnatic against 100 Thieves.